Hey everybody. Hey everybody.
Hey everybody.
Hey, welcome to the Tub. My name is Kimo Nevius, and I've been saddled with this job because I committed some sin in a previous life, and
Yes.
This is my penance. So thank you all for joining us here on KAKU 88.5,
Akaku.
the voice of Maui. We have a really great show lined up for today.
We do?
Well, I say that with some hesitation in my voice. No, we have a really great... This is going to be a fantastic show.
It is.
Because A, this is the highest rated and best radio talk show on Maui.
Can you prove that?
Well, my mom said it to me.
Ah, yes.
So I think it must be true. So let's go around the room and introduce everybody. In the co-pilot seat, Mr. Ringo Starr himself. No, it's Steve Craig.
Thank you. Thank you.
Back from the world's longest honeymoon. So we'll talk about that in a little
Sure
bit.
will.
Sitting next to him is an empty chair for Elijah. Sitting next to the empty chair is Tova Callender.
Hi, Tova.
Say hello, Tova.
Hey.
Hi.
See, there you go. Next to Tova is Liz Foote.
Hi, Liz.
They are
Hey
wearing
there.
they are wearing matching shirts like they belong to some sort of cult, and so that's kind of cool. We'll be talking to them about that during the interview section of the broadcast. And next to Liz is Sarah. Is it Loney or Mark, or is it both? Both. Sarah Loney Mark, who is here to talk about people taking their clothes off in the name of art.
Yay, Sarah.
Oh, so it's fantastic. It's memorable. It's the best thing you could do on a Friday afternoon.
It's jovial.
It's haha. It's a great time. So I love the theme song.
I do too.
Since I wrote the theme song, I like it particularly.
Yes.
But we're gonna kill the theme song.
Don't kill it.
No, it's gonna die.
Fade
It's-
it.
We're going to do the very slow fade out.
Tasteful fade.
All right,
Okay.
Enough of that. So, we're going to do a little segment that we like to kick off the show with called Shameless Self-Promotion. But before we do that, could you ID us, Steve Craig? Could you tell the folks at home what they're listening to?
This is The Tub, Maui's Hot Talk celebrity TV and radio show. Today's episode.
Hey, slower. Hey, first of all, that's too fast. And second of all, I forgot to tell you that it's now Maui's Celebrity and Public Affairs. I
This-
forgot to write that in.
Is The Tub,
Not that slow. Come on.
Maui's Hot Talk celebrity TV.
I brought the bell back just for you.
So what are we calling it now?
A Hot Talk Celebrity and Public Affairs.
Thank you. Today's episode, number 284, is broadcasting on Friday.
No one cares? Okay.
Okay, we'll start that again. See, today's episode is number 284. It's broadcasting, yay! On Friday, September 1st, 2017, on KAKU 88.5 FM. This episode will air again tomorrow at 8 a.m. and on Friday, September 8th at 4 p.m. and Saturday, September 9th at 8 a.m. Do I continue?
Yeah, please. Please continue.
Do you know where? Do you know we are? Oh, do you know we're a TV show?
Do you know?
I didn't know we were
The
a TV
people at
show.
home watching this on TV probably do know that we're a
Oh,
TV show.
there's a
but
camera there.
the
I
people,
see it.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's the people who are listening to us on the
And
radio.
you can watch us on Akaku, Channel 55. Channel 55, folks. That's Friday night at 8 p.m., Saturday night at 12 midnight, and Monday night at 8:30 p.m. Or stream.
Or stream.
Or row your boat gently down the stream at www.mauitvnradio.com. mauitvnradio.com.
This is the longest ID in the history of the show. But
Do you want to be on the show?
Keep going.
Do you want to be on the show? I do. Email our host at Kimo, K-I-M-O, Kimo at kimosongs.com.
That's me, folks.
And the Tub is a Larry John production.
The Tub is a Larry John
Thank you,
production.
Larry John. Woo!
All right. Well, that was...
Okay, now the
Exciting.
rehearsal's over, can we actually do the show?
Yes, absolutely. So I'm giving Sweets one more minute to show up, and then the three of you are going to flip a coin, a three-sided coin, and get to decide who gets to be in the good chair with the good mic. It's going to be Liz. They've already decided. She has got 30 seconds. So before this happens, it'll happen after Steve Craig tells us about what's going on in his life. But this is the segment we like to call Shameless Self-Promotion.
Ah, shameless. Hey, that's my song.
And we like to play a little Steve Craig music while we do Shameless Self-Promotion.
I'm going up country,
Okay, enough of
I
that.
sound just like that guy.
You do. You sound exactly like that guy.
Yes.
So if people wanted to come and, I don't know, hear you play music live, how would they do that?
I do every Sunday at the Dog and Duck at the Triangle in Kihei, the Dog and Duck from 6 to 9 on Sunday. So come on down to the Dog and Duck. We have a good old time. I am a troubadour. It's jocularity and cold beer and classic rock and some original stuff. I sell my CDs there. The CD is called Earth and Sky. It's available on iTunes.
Does it have this song on it?
That's the opening track, buddy boy.
All right.
Also Amazon, CD Baby, Spotify.
Wait a minute. And I can get this song?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Sorry, we'll stop that.
Okay.
That's
shameless
okay.
enough,
So
yeah.
Dog and Duck, 6 to 9, Sunday nights,
Yes.
Triangle, Kihei.
Yes.
No one gets out alive.
Jocularity.
Mirth.
Musical mirth.
Excelente.
Mm-hmm.
So the deadline's over. No one's going in that chair. Liz Foote, come on down. Now this means you're the next contestant on Shameless Self-Promotion.
Oh, no.
So you get to sit in the big chair and with the good microphone and
Nice.
yeah, it's really fantastic. And tell us, we're going to interview you a little bit more in depth a little bit later in the show. But what is West Maui Kumuvai? And why are you here? Why did you show up? I mean, you were just out in the lobby, and I'm like, all right, come be on my radio show.
So why did we show up?
Why are you here?
Why are we here?
Tell us a little bit before we get into the interview about Ridge to Reef and what's
Okay,
happening.
well, and for that, I will throw it to Tova.
Okay, so
and
you tell us
then-
about something else. Okay, you
Okay,
tell us about something else,
so
and
we're
then
in
we'll talk to
certain order
Tova
here.
about Ridge to Reef. Yeah.
Okay, well, actually, we're here today to talk about some of the events that we have coming up, and the main one being the Ridge to Reef Rendezvous, which is going to be in October, the 28th. And that is a whole community event. It's going to be at Kakele Beach Park in Ka'anapali, and it's to celebrate ocean stewardship, so watershed stewardship from ridge to reef, and we'll talk more about it later, but we want to invite everyone to join us at that event. And we have some other events too associated with that, and a whole other bunch of things too that we do to try to get community members involved in taking care of our reefs by thinking about what they do in their daily lives. And the main thing is ocean stewardship in terms of stormwater runoff.
Well, that's what I want to talk to you about. So you've already preempted my first question, which is what's the best thing we can do about keeping our oceans healthy? And you've ruined it by already telling people.
We'll get more on that later.
Hopefully, no one would.
I think we can hear it again. It's that important.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. I'm channeling a little bit Larry John today because I'm obviously in a Larry kind of mood, and I'm trying not to be as bombastic a host as he is.
You might want to tone that down.
I gotta lighten up. So that's great, and I'm gonna throw it over you, Tova. And what would you like to shamelessly self-promote?
I would like to, shamelessly co-promote the Ridge to Reef Rendezvous on October 28th, because that's something that Liz and I work together on. Of course, she does most of the heavy lifting. Thanks, Liz. But I also would like to put in a shameless plug for Malama Maui Nui's upcoming participation in the International Coastal Cleanup, which here we call the Get the Drift and Bag It.
Mm-hmm.
So September 16th, there's going to be cleanups hosted in communities across Maui County. You can find out which communities and groups are organizing those, which roll up into this bigger effort that Malama Maui Nui is doing on their website, malamauinui.org. It's kind of a fun chance to pick up garbage. This sounds funny, but because you get to count it, which sounds really geeky, like it wouldn't be fun at all, but it actually is. There's sort of a perverse curiosity of figuring out how many cigarette butts.
Do you have to count
how many
and
diapers?
categorize?
You
Oh, you
count
get a
and
clipboard.
categorize, and then it rolls up into a much larger data set that you get to see later for the island, for the state, and then for the world.
Well,
So-
again, not to preempt, but what's the number one thing that people count? Do you know?
We should quiz you on
remember?
that. What
Yeah.
do you think?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, what
I
do
know
you
you
think?
like
I don't
quizzes
I
in
don't
here.
ever have to answer questions.
I
I am the quiz
See,
master.
I would guess
remember?
cans and bottles.
I'm going to guess cigarette butts in terms of pure
Yeah.
quantities.
Yeah,
I would say
cigarette butts.
I was hoping that. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's all awful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
sad
in terms
true. Yeah,
in
cigarette
terms
butts.
of items, yeah, which is correct me if I'm wrong. Is it not illegal now to smoke on the beach in Maui? or-
County beach.
County
County.
beaches.
Yeah.
Well, we can talk later about what's the difference between a county beach and a non-county beach, but let's throw it over to Sarah. And what would you like to shamelessly self-promote?
I'm here to shamelessly self-promote the Maui Sexy Sideshows, which will be presented at the Historic Iao Theater.
Accidental bell ring. My goodness, I got so excited.
Good timing. It was good time.
She said sexy sideshows, and I'm like, oh my god.
It will be at the Historic Iao Theater on September 9th. The show starts at 7:30. The doors open at 7. This will be it's being put on by Cabaret and Cocktails and the 6th annual Hawaii Burlesque Festival and Review. So we've got a lot of great local performers, and we're also bringing in a couple headliners from off-island. We've got Redbone, who is a performer out of Minnesota. She is known as the Cyclone of Burlesque.
Wow.
And then we have Hawaii's
I
Burlesque.
hate to ask, but I will ask, what exactly makes one a cyclone
I think
of
you have to
burlesque?
come to the show to
Okay.
find
Yes.
out.
I am going to be off island. Is someone going to be taping this? Is there going to be video?
have
I
not
guess
decided
I
on
guess
that
if I can go to YouTube and put in Cyclone of Burlesque,
You can
maybe
probably find her
I
on
could
YouTube,
probably
yeah,
find out.
yeah.
Oh, sorry, but I interrupted. Who else is coming in?
We have Hawaii's Burlesque Sweetheart, which is Violetta Beretta from Oahu. She's amazing. She's been here before, and she'll be coming back just for this, so she'll be performing a couple times in our show. And we have a lot of great local performers as well. It's going to be a fabulous evening. It's a circus-themed show, so we are also encouraging audience participation in dressing up as, your favorite circus character.
Nice.
Come as a clown, as a tightrope walker, whatever you want to dress up as.
Well, interesting.
Yeah,
I have
it'll be a very
I
fun
have a
evening.
bear suit.
I'm trying to. I was just about to
I
say,
do have a
are
bear
you going to
suit.
wear the bear suit?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, that would be.
That's a great one.
Well, I can't even hardly wrap my mind around this. So September 9th,
Yes.
7:30.
Yep.
Costs money.
It does cost money. The tickets range from $25 to $45. We have VIP seats at the $45 price. They're almost gone, though, and you get some fun VIP perks. So if you want to get in on that, you can buy tickets online at mauionstage.com under their other events at the Iao, or you can call the box office at the Historic Iao Theater at 242-6968.
242-6968. All right. I have to say, I really love the Historic Iao Theater. I like the unhistoric Iao Theater, too, as we've discussed earlier on this show. I'm really the only champion of the non-historic Iao Theater. I'm the only one who goes there. But I really like the Historic Iao Theater, but I dislike that on the website, it takes me a really long time to find other events.
Yeah.
And so I would just caution our listeners and viewers at home, if you want to go see this show, tenacity pays off. You will find a link to it on the website, so keep going. You will click and click and click again, and there it'll be.
Or you can go to, it's mauionstage.com/community-events.
See, there
to
you go.
find it.
That's
Yeah.
the way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'll take you
So-
to the page. You'll find our ticket link. This is the second one down after the
Yeah.
Chippendale.
We have Michael Pulliam coming
this
on,
is-
on
this-
our next show, and I will
Okay.
berate him about this.
A one night only?
This is a one night only
Okay,
show.
good to know.
Yeah.
All right. So,
Yes.
I'm supposed to shamelessly self-promote myself. Hi, I'm Chemo. And so I had a great story come out in the New York Post today. I write about a lot of things, but one of them is real estate, and I really had a fun time writing this story about carriage houses that have been turned into house houses. So where people used to stable their horses are now coveted real estate. And this is true anywhere that had horses, but it is particularly true in New York City because New York City is the urban planning is such that there were very few places to park. There's still very few places to park, but even 150 years ago, there were very few places to park, which means the number of stables in existence has always been very small. So to be able to get one of these that has been, sometimes with incredible detail, preserved and restored and then turned into something lavish and modern.
Right in the city?
Right in the city. So I was talking to this guy who owns this fantastic place on Cornelia Street in Greenwich Village. You walk down the street, it just looks like a nondescript barn from the outside. You go inside, he's got a 25-foot pool in the basement.
Wow.
He's got all of these modern amenities. He was renting it out. Last year he was renting out for $40,000 a month, in case you have that kind of change.
Sure.
Taylor Swift was living there while she was having her place redone. Because she's the sort of person who, sure, $40,000 a month, why not? But he's now put the place on the market for something reasonable, like
Yeah.
I want to say in the $25 to $30 million range. So if you happen to have $29 to $30 million and you would like to live in a stable, I can totally set you up.
So this article appeals to a very broad audience.
Correct. Well, it's interesting writing about real estate. It appeals to people who could actually conceive of owning these places, and granted, that's the 1%, so it's probably a small maybe 1% of my readership. But it also appeals to all the people who wish it, you know,
that's
that they
true. I see
could,
that, yeah.
you know, live in this sort of place. It's
I
aspirational.
mean, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous was a popular show for a long time.
Correct.
Right? And how
I
many
almost
people-
hosted that. It
Almost.
was down to me and Robin Leach.
Yeah.
But, you know, he was famous and I was 7 years old. So. And they didn't hire me. So anyway, go to NewYorkPost.com. I think it's NYPost.com. And if you type in the word Carriage House, it's the first thing that pops up.
Cool.
And there you go.
was
That's me shamelessly.
published today?
It was in today's paper.
Awesome.
So we have a second round that we like to do here. We got to do a little theme song here. I am shamelessly, selflessly promoting a guy named Steve Craig who has this really great album called Earth and Sky. And by really great, I mean okay.
No, you like it.
I do. It's a really good album, I have to say.
Thank you.
You know, the problem with this show is I play this always as the theme to this segment. And then for like 5 days, I can't get that stupid song out of my
Yeah,
head.
see?
So I'm going around. Yeah.
No, that's the idea.
That is the idea. It's very catchy.
It's a lot of psychology involved.
It's
in
a
music.
good. It's a good album kickoff, I have to say.
Thank you.
What would you like to shamelessly, selflessly promote?
Oh, I just did, man. The Dog and Duck, man. That's it. Right now, I have no gigs.
That's you.
Oh,
no,
shamelessly.
selfless. Something that has
Selflessly, yeah, 'cause you
nothing to
said-
do with you.
Oh gosh, I just got back of the island.
Hey, well, instead of selflessly promoting, tell us about your honeymoon.
Oh, what a good time we had. We went to L.A. Well, we started in L.A., spent about 5 weeks in California. And you're familiar with a guy called Colin Hay, right?
I am. He is a...
If you guys aren't, he's a singer-songwriter from the band Men at Work from the 80s. Do you come from a land down under? That guy. So we did a 5-show mini tour with him. I mean, as fans. Got to meet him. It was really cool. So that was this kickoff of the whole thing. And Solana Beach. You've been to Solana Beach, yeah? Down to the Belly Up Club?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, well, anyway, but Big
I
Bear.
mean, sure, yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, Southern California, we started with the tour, saw great shows, got to meet the band, hang out a little bit, did some beach time, of course, but LA beaches are so different, and did not go in the water past my knees because it's freezing, and spent time with my mom, and, just out to dinner. We did a restaurant tour, lots of good fine dining, and some great hole-in-the-wall places, a lot of Mexican food, sampled quite a lot of beer in the time we were there. Just fantastic, falling in love all over again.
Well, that's excellent.
Yes, it was beautiful.
I'm very happy.
It's
for
great
you.
to be back here.
Yeah, exactly.
So we went from a great place to an even better place.
To this show, you
Yes.
mean?
Well, yeah, of course
Okay.
I meant that. Did not mean this beautiful island at all.
You meant right here.
Right.
Fridays at 4.
Yes. So my beautiful
KAKU
wife,
88.5.
Julie is the best traveling companion in the history of the world. So I will put that in there too.
Well, that's good. Marrying the best traveling companion in the history of the world is probably the secret to a happy marriage.
Yes. Yes, I would think so.
All right. Liz Foote, is there something you would like to shamelessly, selflessly promote that you are not? I know you're involved in like 98% of the things that happen on this island, but in case there's something that you are not personally involved in that you would like to plug.
Sure. So I guess, well, I probably should have looked this up better before I came.
That's okay.
But
People at home have the Google. They can look things up.
Exactly. But I know that West Maui is expanding some of the e-cycling, so I think you can go to the area near the old mill, and I know Central Maui as well. So I'll post something on the West Maui Kumuvai Facebook page later with details, but I saw recently that they're expanding that, which is really important because we don't need all this stuff going into our landfill. So
No, and I wish that, sometimes it's hard for me as a consumer to know exactly what they do and they don't take. And it seems sometimes, well, like when I'm trying to get rid of a coffee pot and it's full of electronics and they're like, nah, it's a coffee pot. We don't want to take that. But luckily the one in Wailuku is across the street from Restore. Mm-hmm. And so that is another great place to. Have you been to Restore?
Well, no, I have a question about the landfill here. When I first moved here, a friend of mine took me. He was cleaning up his garage, and I was really amazed at just anything and everything going into this thing. And are you saying that they're making changes about that? Because I mean, you're talking about electronics, TV sets, old TVs were going in, everything from an old pool table and furniture and just everything. A lot of electronics, old computers, just getting dumped into this thing. So, what is that still basically what's happening there? I mean, has it changed at all recently?
as far as the landfill itself, I don't know. I just know that they're expanding the capacity.
Okay, that's okay.
Right.
To
the best
drop
of my
off stuff.
knowledge, no one's going to stop you from throwing away your computer.
Yeah.
But there are more and more ways to
Right.
to recycle it instead of
Okay.
dumping it in that landfill. But you got to want to do it. you've got to be a person that's going to e-cycle.
Yeah.
So I try to e-cycle. As I said, I try to e-cycle everything. I will just take I'll take an old table. I'm like, no, they're like, please stop bringing us things. Why are you here every week? So that's how. But that's good to know. E-cycling should be expanded everywhere on the island.
Well, on a side note on that, at the MauiNui.org website, they have put together a what to do with your trash guide. So it's a very simple, at-a-glance table way to look up.
Let's promote
and
the heck out of that
see.
right now.
Yeah.
So
So
find-
Ma-
So
Malau-
MauiNui.org.
okay,
And I think you could access it right from their homepage there.
great.
And it will tell you if you have a coffee maker versus a table
Right.
versus a tire,
Excellent.
where you take it, whether or not there's a fee, and who to
Well,
contact for more
you
information.
live in Maui Meadows, right?
Yes.
So you're lucky, like I am, to live in the part of the island that at least has the 3-can plan, so that we have curbside recycling,
Mhm.
which is nice.
Yeah.
So much of the
We're
island
the
does
only
not.
ones.
We are the only ones, and I am unsure
Did not know.
why it can't get expanded. I don't know if anybody has any insight into this.
It wasn't affordable.
Well, that's it. And then we all moaned, and it got brought back for those of us that had it. But the amount, if I'm being told correctly, that my trash bill went up to include the 3-can plan is $6. So that seems like if it's only $6 more.
It's not that it wasn't affordable for you; it wasn't affordable for the county.
Yeah, well, still, we should make this happen.
We should.
Yeah.
We should have more recycling on this island.
Absolutely.
We have no way to recycle here, do we?
No, it all gets shipped off, but
Everything
really
get-
we should do less. We
Well,
gotta
there's that
start
too.
with the earlier R's,
Correct.
where
Yes.
we rethink,
The rethink.
reuse, reduce before we even get to recycling,
yeah.
because recycling is still shallow ecology.
Right. That is very true. So buy in bulk. You, Craig, buy more in bulk. He's the worst offender.
No, I'm not.
He does. He goes in and can I buy just one cigarette? I don't want the whole pack. None of that is true.
Yeah.
It's just I've missed you so much
I
because you've
know.
been gone for so long,
Yes,
and
I
I feel
know.
like I have to get in like 5 weeks worth of
Ribs.
jabs at
Jabbing.
Steve Craig.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So, is there anything else you'd like to shamelessly, selflessly promote?
Well,
Tova?
being hopelessly unprepared for this.
No, that's
the
okay.
First
That's-
thing that jumps to mind is that the West Maui Community Plan is being dusted off and
Yes.
starting up again. And they've just launched, the County Maui Planning Department has recently launched a website. And if you happen to be in West Maui and you care, getting involved in those community plans is a meaningful way to help shape the community going forward.
Right.
So-
I went to the presentation recently
Oh,
for
good.
Kihei community, which is next. So I saw the order of things. It's West Maui, and then it's Kihei, and then it moves down the line. So I think a lot of what happens in West Maui is going to be helpful for all the stakeholders in how they do this in every community. So if it's done well in West Maui, I think that's helpful for all of us in the island. So as they kept emphasizing at this meeting, the more people who want to get involved, the better the plan's going to be. So get involved.
Do you all keep up with the when they test the water for local beaches and things?
Do they keep up?
Yeah, I mean,
That's all they do.
Well, okay. then-
Liz
No,
is
no,
personally
no,
testing the
okay,
water on a
obviously, but
daily
I mean-
basis. I see her house.
Okay, I'll start that over again. It's been a few months since I've even looked into that. Well, I was away for a month of 5 weeks, and then I thought about, could we check it on a regular basis? But obviously not that you guys do. Tell us, how are things looking?
I will toss that to Tova, but one of the things that's associated with the event that we're doing in
Mhm.
October, we are doing a science night with Kohola Brewery in Lahaina.
Yeah, you had
And-
one of those recently. How was it?
Yeah, it was great. We've been wanting to do it for a while,
Mhm.
and the combination of beer and science really does bring people out.
It really.
And it's a lot more fun.
Yeah, I know.
So we had a great turnout. We had some researchers from Scripps Institution of Oceanography in town, and we just enlisted them. They were totally game for it. We maxed out the place, and they had food, so it was great. So now the brewery is doing that on a regular basis, and you should invite some of the groups that go and talk to them too.
Absolutely.
But the group that Tova will be telling you about in a second, they're going to be doing a presentation on October 25th, which is a Wednesday at 6:30, all about that effort. So people, if they enjoy hearing about it now, they can come enjoy with beer.
With beer. I mean, most of our listening audience probably is drinking, especially
Why
after
aren't
they've gotten about 24 minutes into the show and they're like, I got to crack one open at this point if I'm going to make it through to the end.
Especially those listening on Saturday morning.
Exactly. That's exactly right. It's the 8 a.m. crowd you got to worry about. So is there something, Sarah, you would like to shamelessly, selflessly promote before we come back and talk more about burlesque? Is there
Sure.
something?
I'd love to promote all of the community theaters on the island. So there's a lot of great productions going on right now that I'm not a part of. So right now is Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is happening. This is their second weekend at the Maui Arts and Cultural Center.
Do you know when that runs until?
This is the last weekend.
So it is through September 2nd.
Yeah, 3rd.
3rd, yes,
That's
through September
whatever
3rd.
Sunday is.
Sunday is September 3rd.
Yeah, so there's that. And then coming up at the Iao is Harvey, which I'm
Yes.
sure Michael Pulliam will talk
So
about.
I'm having Michael Pulliam and Dale Lee Button come on our
Nice.
next show to talk about Harvey, the giant
And then
imaginary rabbit.
at Pro Arts is Elephant Man.
Oh, interesting. Do you know
So-
when that's going to be?
It's sometime in September. Yeah, I don't have
Yeah,
exact
that's okay.
dates. But yeah, I think it's towards the middle end of September.
You folks with the Google out there.
Yeah, Google
Google
that.
Pro Arts and Elephant Man, and I'm sure
Yeah.
it'll come up. Yeah, they've really they've been doing a lot of great stuff. It's nice to have a theater in Kihei because I don't like to drive.
And they're
Yeah.
doing all kinds of great renovations, so it'll be even better than before.
Awesome. That is awesome. All right. Well, that was a fun round of shameless.
I agree.
Self-promotion.
I like that.
And shameless, selfless promotion. And we got more theme songs here. Hang on. So while you were gone,
Yes.
I found a bunch of really important music to play before different segments of the show.
Yeah. And this is leading into what segment exactly?
This is today's dumb quiz.
Love the dumb quiz.
So, it's all about the ocean. Today's dumb quiz.
Okay.
We'll just bring that down. I like it in the background, though.
That's nice.
We could just listen to this the whole time. We could play out the entire rest of the show. Okay, maybe not. Where is today's dumb quiz? Hang on. We're going to do it off the phone.
These could be tough.
They can be very
They
tough.
can be very tough, yes.
But I stole all these questions from somebody else. So
Is the prize money bigger this week?
so the prize is always the same. If
Lame.
you win, everybody gets, for every correct answer, you get a point.
Which you can buy nothing with.
The person with the most points never has to come back on this show.
Oh.
So the stakes are high. All right. So how much?
Clearly, I haven't won yet.
How much do you know about ocean health? That is the question.
Not enough.
How
Honestly.
much? Number one.
Okay.
How much more acidic is the ocean now than it was 200 years ago? 10%, 20%, or C, 30%?
I'm going to have to say, guessing, thinking about what we've been doing to the planet, 30. C.
Any guesses?
You're laughing at me. It's a trick question.
Oh, facts and numbers. I don't know. I'll say 20.
30,
Sure.
20?
pH is logarithmic.
It could be
so-
10.
Is that- who knows? I didn't write
I'll
that.
go
with
10.
B.
You're going with B, 20.
I'll go with 10.
10, and the answer is in fact 30% by whatever measurement that they're using for this question. So, question number 2. How many whales and dolphins die?
3.
You can get negative points, buddy boy, just so you know. How many whales and dolphins die from fishing gear every year? Is it approximately A, 100,000, B, 200,000, or C, 300,000?
What's a geographic scope?
I think this is the world.
Worldwide, yeah.
Yeah, this is not in America. I think this is in the world.
I'm going to guess, hoping it's the least amount listed just there.
100,000.
Yes.
Liz,
I'll go with the top number.
Yeah.
300,000.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
want to.
I'm gonna have to go top as well.
And I'll take the remaining one.
The one in the middle.
Somebody's gotta.
The answer is in fact 300,000.
Yeah.
Boo.
Sorry, dolphins.
Yeah.
I wanted to be right.
Number 3. Who is cuter in a bathing suit, me or Steve Craig? Think hard before you answer this question. Our director Carl is just having a stroke in the other room.
Pull the plug. Pull the plug on the show. We're done.
That's it. It's all over. Steve Craig, who's cuter, me or you?
Oh, definitely me.
That's it.
Absolutely. You see my legs?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop you right now. The answer is, in fact, Steve.
Yes.
So everybody gets a point. You're
Thank
still
you.
tied.
Okay.
Question number 4. How much carbon dioxide does the ocean absorb from burning oil and coal? From us. That's a poorly phrased question. It sounds like the ocean is burning the oil. No. But we are burning oil and coal, and how much carbon dioxide does the ocean absorb? 6%, 16%, or 26%?
I'd have to say the high, the 26.
I think it's 26.
I'm going high.
26.
Sure, why not?
Sure, why not? It is, in fact, 26. I am sensing a pattern developing in this quiz. I just want you to know that
Yes.
I think if you guess C on every answer, there's a good chance you're going to be correct. Question number 5. 43% of the Earth's surface is covered by high seas. What percentage of the high seas are currently protected? 1%, 15%, or 25%?
High seas, 1%.
Yeah.
Yep.
And indeed, the answer is 1%. So I was trying to trick you there by getting you to choose C, and none of you fell for it.
This is kind of a depressing quiz.
Yes,
It is very depressing. 50% of the plastic that we use is only used once. What can you do to improve your plastic usage habits? A, use reusable utensils. B, look for eco-friendly items. C, avoid plastics altogether. Or D, all of the
All
above.
of the above.
It is, in fact, all of the above. Steve Craig won, but he has to come back. He's contractually obligated. So I'm sorry to say that in today's episode of Today's Dumb Quiz, there are no winners.
Actually,
and usually on the tub, there are no winners, and that's just a fact. In fact, in life, there really are no winners.
No, I didn't win. I lied. You were definitely cuter in a bathing suit.
Yeah.
Sounds like the ocean lost that one, too.
Yeah, unfortunately it did. So this is my Entertainment Tonight music. No, you gotta have a bumper before every segment of the show.
There's the camera, folks.
Look, it's White Man's Overbite. All right.
Carl will have to edit that in.
I'm always asking Carl to
There
edit
you
stuff
go.
in. He's just so happy that McCartney's not here swearing.
McCartney who?
And nobody has to be bleeped out.
Sorry, Michael.
Yeah. Hi, Michael. I'm glad you're listening at home.
He's not listening.
He,
He's bathing cats.
he is. If he knows he's mentioned on the show, he will listen. He can get it at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Listen tomorrow morning at 8.
Listen.
All right. So that's our interview. So this is kind of a free-form show, but now we're going to technically interview you. Because, I mean, the important thing here is you sent me some material about the Ridge to Reef. Is that a rendezvous?
Yes.
Who's putting it on? How did it come about? What the heck are you talking about? Why fancy French words? I mean, these are all the questions that I have. But first of all, are we talking Ridge to Reef like an ahupua'a? I mean, so tell
Yes.
people more about why is it Ridge to Reef?
Do you want to talk about the
You
Ridge
want
to
the
Reef
real
first?
answer of
Yeah,
why?
go for
Yeah,
it.
I want. You can tell me funny answers,
I'll
but
give
I
you
want
more
the I want
later.
the
Well,
the genuine answer.
Yeah, I mean, the genuine answer is sometimes it's tricky to include. This is an initiative. So the Ridge to Reef, West Maui Ridge to Reef Initiative is a multi-partner, collaborative, federal, state, local initiative trying to find and address the sources of land-based pollution. So we needed a name for that.
Mm-hmm.
West Maui Mountain Partnership are the guys and gals who work so hard on the top of the mountain to make sure that those pristine lands stay as they are. So a lot of people, when they think of West Maui and they think of watershed, they think of those guys, which
Yep.
is not a bad association, but we didn't want to be confusing.
Right.
And we didn't want to alienate or be inaccurate about the Ahupua'a system because watersheds, as the hydrologic delineation, do not necessarily line up. And so what we were
Right.
left with was, hey, everyone can relate to a ridge to a reef, and that way we're not going to get confused with a watershed. So in the naming of the overall initiative, which is one part of the impetus for this event, we came up with Ridge to Reef.
That's a great answer.
It is a
Sorry,
great
Yes.
I have no follow-up. Thank you so much for being here.
You are the new co-host.
Exactly.
I'm out of here.
Back
Tova's always
off your
coherent.
mic a little bit.
Check
Greg.
1, 2.
Back
I can't
off.
hear it.
You sound great. Back off a little
But I
bit.
got my headphones are at the same volume.
Yeah, I don't know. All I'm
Alright.
saying is you're popping a little bit.
Okay, Dad.
Jeez.
So, back to the Ridge to Reef
Yeah,
rendezvous.
exactly.
Totally professional here. Totally
Oh, yeah.
100%.
So, it's the whole big picture thing, the Ridge to Reef initiative, and then the part of it that I coordinate, which is also collaborative West Maui Kumuvai, and that's all about things individuals can do to reduce their contribution to polluted runoff. And we can talk about all that later, but there's more.
Talk about that. We can talk about anything
we'll
you want
get
to.
into that for sure. But as far as the event goes, this started in 2010, and it wasn't known as the Ridge to Reef Rendezvous then. It was the Kahekili Herbivore Fisheries Management Area Birthday Bash, which is way too many words.
Sure.
But it was established to celebrate that protected area, which was, if anyone is familiar with North Ka'anapali, in 2009, the state established a very small protected area where just the herbivores are protected, so species of parrotfishes and surgeonfish, also sea urchins. And these are the important species that take care of the reef and graze the algae. And the idea was, all right, we'll protect these herbivores, and while we're doing all these other things, Mauka to protect the reef. I'll let these herbivores sort of hold the line, and we'll protect them. So there's a no take on those herbivores in this area, but you can still fish for other things. So we've been working on promoting awareness of this area for many years with all sorts of state and local, federal partners. So it just started as this little birthday party we did with the community in 2010, and it just grew since then. And a few years back, it got rebranded as the Ridge to Reef Rendezvous because it was going to be more inclusive and include everything and all the groups. So it's a lot of partners and a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to our event this October.
Now, this event is a reef-based event. It's oceanside. Do you ever do events that are ridge-based?
We do coordinate some of our volunteer opportunities up on that side when something comes up. They're not regular in the same way. So the Makai Watch Network that Liz has coordinated for years right on the beach is there. In a high island system, coral reef conservation starts on the land.
Right.
And so even though it is an ocean initiative, we're bringing a lot of partners to the table and to our tent on this day to talk about what they're doing on the land that helps the ocean. So it's ocean-based, but it's never just ocean-based when you live on Maui.
Right. Now, I know a lot of things are happening that morning, including there appears to be a snorkeling out to a haunted reef. Is that merely because it is happening a couple of days before Halloween, or is the reef in fact genuinely haunted? I would like to know.
Actually, depends how you frame that. But in a sense, you could say our reef is haunted because it's not what it used to be.
It's a ghost of of its former self.
I mean,
that's just sad.
It is sad. But despite that, we have decided that the theme of this year's event should be ocean optimism, because there are things to be happy about and celebrate. And there was just a nationwide event earlier
in fact,
this year.
I was having a discussion with someone about this just recently, the sort of the pessimist versus the optimist when it comes to climate change. And, he's a diehard pessimist. And so the idea was that since the horse is long gone and we're just shutting the barn door, there's nothing we can do, and we should all just wait to die. And that is one way to approach life, I suppose. But it seems like that is a poor way to get people involved in an event. Do you think, I have certainly heard anecdotal stories about some reefs getting, we hear the terrible stories like the Great Barrier Reef, dying. But are there possibilities for saving these reefs?
Absolutely. There's always a possibility, and with effective, good management, that's what we need. And that defining that is important, really. It's protecting areas and having community support and buy-in and enforcing the protection. That's what we need to do, really, in a broad scale. And our Kahekili Reef has shown signs of resilience and some success after 8 years. The parrotfishes have gone up in terms of the amount and the size of them, and same with surgeonfishes. There's a little bit of uptick in coral cover. So we're seeing some good signs, and that's very encouraging. So we can see it at a local scale. We can see it broader as well.
Now, can we talk about the sunscreen issue? Because I know that there's been a lot of press and a lot of, every time I go to the doctor, there are big things on the wall that telling me what ingredients I should and should not look for. But of course, they never hand me anything, and then all of those words are very long, and I cannot remember what they are. And I have also read elsewhere that things that are labeled reef safe are not necessarily reef safe. So how can somebody, first of all, how bad is the effect of sunscreen in our oceans? That's question 1A. And 1B would be what should people really be looking for in terms of trying to help? Because that's a thing that everybody can do.
It is, and that's one of the things I like about that particular issue. And it may not be the top level issue, it certainly isn't, as far as like something you can do to help the reef, but it's helpful in getting people involved and saying, this is something I can do. Just think about the product I'm using, maybe use a rash guard instead, and minimize just any substance you're putting on your body. And there's a number of lots of letters, compounds that are found to be harmful. And in the circumstances, you can avoid those things. Like oxybenzone is one of them. And look for
That's
things.
the only one I can ever remember is
Yeah,
oxybenzone is out.
We're actually trying to put together, and there have been a number of folks who are working on this issue. They're doing sunscreen swaps at different places. DOFA and the state folks at Hihikina'u are doing something like that frequently. I don't know how frequently, but we're hoping to get them at the event. So people can come. We did this last year too. We had a make your own sunscreen booth where we gave out recipe cards, and you can get things like zinc oxide and shea butter and mix it up and put whatever in there that you want to make it smell not gross. And little cards, what to look for when you go to the shops and to avoid. And yeah, there's definitely an issue with various branding and eco and green, and there's not really regulations that anyone can call themselves
that's
anything.
exactly what I was reading, that anybody can basically, there's a lot of things you can slap on the front of a label.
Yeah.
You know, because this is true with food too. What's on the front of the box and what's on the back of the box are regulated in different ways, and even if everything is legal and proper on the back of the box, that doesn't stop somebody from putting really, really healthy on the front when that may in fact not be true. So I figured that has to be the case with these sunscreens, and the thing that drives me, just because I hate the smell so much, wild, is the people who are spraying, and the kid is here and the spray is here and the spray is going that direction,
Yeah, it's not
and the kid
good.
is just standing there going
Yeah, it gets in the
and that
sand.
seems like that's just unhealthy that's got to be unhealthy for everybody. Let's forget the reef. That's just like unhealthy for the world to have like
See a lot of that too.
yeah.
I do see a lot of that. Yeah.
So if that is not what is the best thing an individual can do to, other than, completely become a hermit and never go outside?
Not be alive.
Yeah, exactly. Other than death, that's the number one thing you can do to help the planet is not be here. But the number two thing.
Yeah. All right. That's
To
a
help
tough
our
one.
oceans.
The number one thing. That's and I don't know. That's sort of a cop-out answer on my part. There's so
number
many
one
things.
can be, there are various different metrics where we can measure number one. Number one could be easiest for your average Joe to adopt. Maybe it doesn't have the greatest impact, but maybe it's the thing that, it's hard to change people's habits. So what's like something very easy we could all do to help our oceans?
I say anything that reduces emissions is a good thing. So watch all those articles with your top 10 things to impact your climate footprint. Locally, in terms of our West Maui Kumbai campaign, there's a lot of things you can do. If you have a yard or a car, use less water. Think about what you put in the water and how the water gets in the storm drains. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of our storm drains go directly to the ocean, and that's one of the big things we're working on is
Right. So if you're pouring a gallon of soap onto your
Yeah.
onto your car to wash it, it's going straight into the ocean.
very, very likely.
Do you have any?
Well,
Tova?
it's a tricky question.
Yeah, I know it is.
And that's the problem, is that it's always great when there's just one tiny nugget of the thing you can do.
Correct.
But the truth is, it's the death of 1,000 cuts happening
Right.
out there on the reef. So if there's the one thing that you can do, if you only had one, then change the way you think about how you occupy your space on this island. And what do you do? Because, like I said before, you're on a high island system, water runs downhill. Everything that you're doing, and that includes what you put in your body, which then gets flushed, which in some cases then gets injected
Right.
after some treatment
which
onto
then
the reef.
becomes Steve's water quality issues.
Right. So all of it, everything that you're doing on your lawn, how you're watering, how much water you're using, your carbon footprint, it all factors into the death of 1,000 cuts. So it's
Good
not
answer.
it's not tidy.
It
But
is not
think,
tidy.
Change your thinking.
Change your thinking.
And get involved.
Remember, what you do on land affects the ocean. If you love the ocean, think a little harder on the land. Yeah.
Policy, show up at
I
meetings.
know she was looking right at you when she said that too.
Well,
So personal.
It's so personal, Steve. Sorry, buddy.
it's okay.
So what else is going on at the Ridge to? First of all, it's October 28th.
Yes,
And
Saturday.
it starts very early in the morning.
Well, the main event starts at 9.
Okay.
So for those who want to participate...
It's a Saturday?
Yes.
So right
Saturday.
after the show. So you can listen to the show from 8 to 9.
Okay.
Just in your car
While you're
driving.
playing this,
And
yeah.
then you can erupt, but continue.
Totally. So it's 9 to noon. But we also, as part of the event, have a keiki catch and release fishing contest.
So you're
tournament.
catching and releasing cake.
Yeah,
That
we
totally
know.
totally seems illegal, but what do I know? I mean, that sure.
You have to release them.
I guess that's the part that makes it okay.
Yeah, the releasing
Exactly.
part, right.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, we did it a couple of years ago, and this is sponsored and coordinated by Division of Aquatic Resources. And it was a papillo fishing tournament, so less confusion about what we're catching. But that was seasonal. So we used to do this event in July historically because that was the anniversary of the Ka'akila herbivore area starting.
Right.
We moved it this year, and one of the benefits is less hurricanes, but also less
Sure.
papillo. So it's just whatever is out there that keiki can catch and then release that is not a herbivore. So that will help us.
So it's about this will teach them what the difference is between the herbivores
Yes.
and the non-herbivores.
It's great because it brings people to an area that a lot of people don't even realize that we have this relatively small protected site on Maui. And the rules say you can't catch herbivores, but you can still go there and you still catch other things. So it's not one of those sites that's totally closed and you can't access it. So it's I like that part of the story.
Is that a state level protection?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So this is all very interesting. Are there other events coming up that are not specifically the Ridge to Reef? I'm going to get this right. The Ridge to Reef Rendezvous that people can get involved in.
Well, we have one other component of the Ridge to Reef
Well, there's
Rendezvous we
more,
haven't
sorry.
talked
Keep
about
talking
yet.
about it.
But if you've heard
more about the haunted reef, please.
Oh yeah, we're still working on that. But on the day before the Ridge to Reef Rendezvous, we're doing a screening of the film Chasing Coral, which you may have heard of. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's,
I've heard of it and I have not
good.
seen it yet.
Okay, yeah, it's streaming on Netflix now, but the producers you can do a screening and you can add an educational component in with it. So the Whalers Village is hosting it on the 27th at 6 p.m. And they have a big outdoor screen now at part of their Whale Center Project Oceanology. So people can go and watch the film together, and then after that we're doing a panel with some researchers, hopefully some community representatives, and talk about reef conservation and science and management. So that'll be another opportunity that's all tied into the event.
Great. So that's October 27th at Whalers Village, and then the next morning you can wake up
That's right.
and you can go to the beach.
Yeah. So 8 o'clock for the keiki fishing tournament,
And
then
the film
main
is called Chasing Coral.
Chasing Coral.
And it's on Netflix now?
Yes.
Great.
Says Steve. He's like, I'm going to watch it at home.
Well, I'm just making,
Yeah, no, it is on Netflix. I've seen it. It actually, it's one of the things because I watch enough things that it thinks I should like this that it sort of pops up, and I'm like, oh, it seems depressing. I don't want to watch it.
Well, the last
Is it depressing?
screening
That's
that
the
Liz
question.
organized in Kihei it went beyond standing room only.
Yeah, that's
to
what I
people
heard.
being
I had
turned
friends
away.
who were there who
People had to
barely, who
leave.
sort of squeaked in.
So
and
it
like,
is
were
so
pressed at the back.
The
Yeah.
community wants to see this film, and they want to see it as a community, which
Yeah.
is
Well, that's just
kind of
great.
interesting because you could just watch it on your own, and yet
Yeah, and people want to go.
Yeah.
And well, I think it's good to have the component of the sort of talk back afterwards because
Yeah.
people, it's always been you see something like that in my experience, and you do have questions, and you can't. There's no one, when you're at home, you can't just like call up the producer and say, so at about 30 minutes in, you said. So it's nice to have real scientists who will be there to be able to maybe expound on what's going on. It sounds like a great opportunity.
Yeah.
It does. My goodness, we're almost running out of time. Not quite yet. Not quite yet.
Have you written any new songs?
We're not talking about me yet. We're going to go back to Sarah in a second. Is there anything else that people at home should know right now about this event or about any other event? Yes, Tova has a thought.
West Maui Kumuvai is hosting I always get it backwards. Get the drift and bag it. I don't know why I have a hard time with that. At Mala Wharf, September 16th. That's Saturday morning, 8:30. Meet there. we'll have the pickers and the bags.
This is where you get to count your cigarettes.
This is where you get
Yes.
to count your garbage. You get to participate in a
I do have to say,
enhanced
I mean,
coastal
I
cleanup.
am already a little bit excited, but
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the idea of
It's
being able to.
surprisingly
Then
fun.
you
We'll
said
bring
diapers,
t-shirts.
and I got
Well,
got a little less
you can
excited.
get your partner to do that, the one that's doing the clipboard work. And then we do have another Science Cafe coming up on November 8th with Dr. Kurt Storlazzi from the U.S. Geological Survey. And he is going to be sharing with us some of this innovative science they're doing about coastal wave action and how coral reefs play a role in protecting coastal infrastructure. So if you want to see scary maps about what's to come,
Yeah.
meet us for beer.
Fun time.
on
Well, but the
8th of
beer
November.
helps you sort of mellow
Exactly,
out. So you
yeah.
see the scary maps, and you're like, "Could I have another, bartender?"
Yeah, it's really, really interesting person, does fantastic science, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, and it's a fun little brewery. So I mean, I have to say, if you're just in it for the drinking, it's a fun place to drink. Do you think about taking that show on the road? For those of us who never travel to the West Side unless we have to. I mean, you brought Chasing Coral to Kihei. Are these sort of science cafe sort of things? You think about doing them other locations as well?
I'd be down with that. If anyone
Not
is
that I
out
have
there
a location,
listening
but-
and wants to host, there's tons of people doing great work in the community from the conservation field, and I'm sure they'd all be down with, talking with beer.
Right.
Many of them.
Talking with beer. We have
Can't
plenty of
speak for
places
all
to,
of you
to-
guys
to,
out
to,
there.
to drink.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I say pointing at you. It's just how it is. Well, thank you. I mean, this is. I feel like I could ask you questions all day because I feel like a lot of us. I've been here for 10 years now. We choose to come and live here because of the ocean. It's not. No one comes to Maui because we have a Target. I mean, that's just. No one said. Where should we move? Well, honey, they've got a Target. Let's move there. So, if we don't have that, if that ocean is not, if we're not given to that ocean, it won't give back to us. So I really feel like if we don't take care of it, so thank you. I say we'll
Yeah, I
get you
think
back
that was-
on.
I think you guys are great.
Yeah, exactly.
Everything you're
Thanks
doing.
for having
I'm just
everything-
thinking.
the
I'm
way
already
you
thinking about what part 2 of this could
Yeah.
be at some later point.
Yeah. Well,
When
let me tell you, if you
once-
want to get
once I've
involved
come up with some more dumb quiz questions.
If you want to get involved in volunteer activities, the community of people that come out to Malama the Ocean are amazing. So it's just like you said, people are here for that, and I'm just blown away by the intelligence and the passion and the time that people from this community give
Yeah.
to help out.
Yeah, I do, and I
It's
think
super
that's
cool.
Great.
honestly, I think that is also one of the reasons why people end up here. People who are not born here end up here is because it is a sort of place that breeds that kind of community.
Well, isn't that how we know each
That
other
is how we
from
know each
ocean
other.
awareness training?
Correct,
trying
exactly
to,
right.
More shout outs to
That is
chemo.
that is how we know each other.
That's
I
right.
actually was aware of the ocean and took I took actual classes with my wife and some friends, and I have good friends who I met in those classes. So
Yeah.
That's great.
So thank you for having us. And if people want more details on all this stuff, they can go to the Facebook page.
I'm playing you
You're
off.
getting
it's
faded
It's
out,
like
Liz.
the Academy Awards.
Oh.
No, please. I exactly want to know where people can find out more
Okay.
information. So please,
Oh yeah, West Maui Kumuvai. It's Facebook West Maui Kumuvai. Search that.
Kumuvai.
Kumuvai.
Yeah, Kumuvai. West Maui Kumuvai has a Facebook page, and this would be fantastic. And I hope everybody listening shows up on the 27th and the 28th because you're going to have a great time.
Awesome.
I guarantee it personally. Come talk to me if you do not have a great time.
Yeah, him that does.
No, that's not it. This is just crazy music. You should never let me loose with royalty-free music. No, that's just a bumper so that we can ask Sarah a few more questions about what happens at a burlesque show.
Right.
We want everybody who listens to this show, all 6 of them, to come to. All 600 of. All 6,000 of them to come to the show. So what are they in for?
Well, burlesque is a lot of fun. It's born out of variety shows. It does involve striptease. That is kind of the main thing that burlesque is known for, and there will be some striptease going on. On Maui, we tend to do more cabaret-style burlesque, which has less stripping just because of the limitations we have here for performance spaces. But because we are not performing at a bar, we are allowed to strip. So
Got it.
there will be some striptease involved, but it's generally...
So you have to choose stripping or alcohol.
Yeah.
See, they get to do science and alcohol
I know.
together. So I really feel like we should figure out a...
I know.
but
I've been trying.
I understand.
It's a challenge on
On
this
this island is definitely...
It
It is
really
a
is.
challenge where you watch people come to a screeching halt in bars because there's a piece of tape
Right.
and it's like, oh my God, you're on the dance floor. Step away. And that doesn't even involve stripping.
Right,
That just
exactly.
involves
That's just
alcohol and
dancing.
dancing. And every time when I'm a performer and I think that, I just break into Footloose because because the whole thing is just ridiculous. It's 2017, people. But anyway, I'm sorry. There
So-
will be stripping, but not drinking.
Unfortunately. You can always drink before
Right.
and after.
Exactly.
But
Just
not
not
during.
during. Got it. That's fine.
Yeah. So we'll have some of that, but it's generally a variety show. So we'll have other performers doing other things as well. We have some awesome singers and performers from the local community theater doing lots of fun dancing, and it is circus themed. So we're putting together a bunch of little circus sketches to make it fun and entertaining for everyone.
Great.
But, huh?
I said great.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm excited. I'm not going to be there because I'm going to be on the mainland. But
That's just too bad.
I know. What can I say? I'm going to be. I'm going to go see Pete Townsend has turned Quadrophenia into an opera,
You're going.
and I'm going to the Metropolitan Opera House to watch like performers perform Quadrophenia as an opera with a full orchestra.
Wow.
So that's kind of freaky.
Yeah.
And one of them is Billy Idol,
Ooh.
who I've never seen. So Billy Idol in an opera, but go ahead. So that I wanted to have a real reason to not be there, because people are always like, oh, I wish I could come, but I have a pedicure. but I have a genuine opera to go to. But
Yeah, it'll be a great show. A lot of entertaining performers. Everybody will have a great time. It is an adult.
I personally
show,
guarantee
so
it.
not
Yes.
the kids.
So this is 21 plus.
Not necessarily, because you can't drink.
Oh, true. But you just should have an adult mindset.
Yes, it is an adult show, so probably leave the kids at home.
Got it.
Yeah.
Understand that, kids. Unless you were my dad, who was always taking me to inappropriate things when I was a child. But we won't talk about that. But he would take me to R-rated movies and get into arguments with the people at the box office. But he'd be like, "Look, it's an R-rated movie, and as long as you've got an adult guardian, you can take anybody." And they're like, "But your kid is 9," and he's like, "Shut up and take my money."
He's never going to sleep again.
Exactly. That's all right. But that's enough of my... Now I got to go back to the psychiatrist. But anyway, again, anything else that people should know? It's September 9th. It's at the Iao Theater. It is at the Historic Iao Theater.
Historic.
Because at the
Theater.
unhistoric Iao Theater, they're doing a staged reading of The Elephant Man, just to make sure that the people at Pro Arts are... Just kidding.
I thought they were doing rehearsals for Jaws, the musical.
How is that coming along?
It's coming along well.
I want to talk about that on our next show. I want you to have
I'm looking forward to that.
I'd like you to have. We need a bigger boat already written by then.
We got to get a bigger boat.
But here's
It's a
your
recurring
challenge.
theme.
Here's your challenge. Jaws the musical needs to be from the perspective of the shark.
Okay, yeah.
Flip the script.
Yeah, I can do that.
All
As
right.
long as the shark sings, I mean, that's
Yeah,
all
exactly.
you really need.
We
Shark
got
has to
singing
sing.
sharks.
The shark suits are looking good.
So that's what will be coming up at the unhistoric Iao Theater, where we never get any audiences, but we put on a great show. But at the Historic Iao Theater on September 9th.
September 9th, as part of the Hawaii Burlesque Festival, which is happening on multiple islands. It usually is just on Oahu, but the last couple of years they've been extending it to the outer islands. This is the first time we have it on Maui, so it's a pretty exciting show to be part of that. That's how we get these great headliners.
Are they also doing things on other islands as well, or is it all taking place on Maui this time?
No, it's most of it will be happening on Oahu the week after our show.
Oh, okay.
So there's a 2-night event at the Doris Duke Theater at the Honolulu Museum of Art. And the night before our show on the 8th, they'll be in Hilo
Okay.
at the Palace
Oh, so they're
Theater.
really working their way
Yeah,
across
so
across our island chain.
They're making it more of a Hawaii State thing rather than just a Honolulu thing.
That's
So,
great.
Yeah,
That's
it's pretty
fantastic.
awesome.
All right. Well, that's excellent. So I'm gonna, theme song us out of here.
Do it.
But while I do that, I want everybody to go around and one more time. Oh, can I also plug Maui? Our friends at Maui Comics and Collectibles.
Yes.
this only competes a little bit with the Ridge to Reef Rendezvous. But at UH Maui College on October 28th and 29th, free admission to the public will be 2 full days of comic and cosplay. Woohoo!
Fun.
It is fun. It says, look, what does it say right there with an exclamation point?
Fun.
It says fun, so it's mandatory. And Swan from Maui Comics and Collectibles was on our last show, and it is amazing. The tiny little type, I can't read it without my glasses, of the number of people that they've got coming to participate this, including like really big names from the comic book world. So we'll plug that again, but on October 28th and 29th at the college. So
Super cool.
hang on while you start telling people where to see you while I get the theme song.
Okay, back to the Dog and Duck, the world famous Dog and Duck on Sundays from 6 to 9. We'll be playing solo acoustic most of the time. We get some guest stars once in a while. Chemo Nevius has been
I
known
have every once in a
to
while.
step in. It's a fun place. Come on down. Good food, good music. And there it is, every Sunday.
Every Sunday from 6 to 9
Aloha.
in the Bermuda Triangle.
Yes,
All
that's
right. One last time, where can people find you?
They can check out the Facebook page for West Maui Kumuvai and join us on October 25th at Kohola Brewery and 27th at the Whalers Village and 28th for the Ridge to Reef Rendezvous at Kahekili Beach Park.
Excelente.
To get you warmed up with all of our great West Maui Kumuvai volunteers, see you at Mala Wharf, 8:30 Saturday morning, September 16th.
And one last time, Sarah.
You can get your tickets for the Maui Sexy Sideshows at mauionstage.com/community-events.
Community-events.
Community-events, or call 242-6968 for the Maui Sexy Sideshows, September 9th at the Historic Iao Theater. Show starts at 7:30.
All right, this show is going to air for 2 weeks in a row, and then we're going to have Michael Pulliam, and we're going to have a big imaginary rabbit next time on the show. This has been The Tub. My name is Chemo Nevius. Everybody dance.
Woo!